Scribble notes when I wrote these quotes. If I offend, pardon me, there's more of me to grow. Creative in my process, enjoy the show. The will is different when you recognize the different strokes. Different folks, same goals, we all want the most. So when we reach the top, we can enjoy the toast. The type of bread we get is fresh about the bakery. Told them don't play with me, with or without a degree. Don't question my intensity, bravery. Similar to agencies that want to see you fold. So just pray for me. Yeah, Einstein with my energy.
Yeah, it's crazy how much the world changed all at once. But I think that is a really interesting point because I've seen myself, so many different people just really embracing them and displaying them. And obviously that's part of their brand. It's part of what makes you endeared to them. Even one of my favorite musicians actually right now, he's been doing concerts of 50 people in his backyard. No longer concerned about big shows, but it's been some of the best content to watch because who else is doing that but him, and who else is really concerned with that? And it makes you amazing. It makes you that much more interested in his journey and his story and the way he's going about his business. And I think that overall it is really interesting to see how much the world has kind of changed and how much the internet and TikTok and Instagram and all the apps have really transitioned us into being more out there, because to get on the wave of what's going on is important to recognize. I know for myself, to recognize the trends and sounds and music and things people are using, like that's just as important now as it's ever been.
Yeah, and I'll say, the pandemic made you feel like, you know what, I could do whatever I want to do. I need to do it now. I actually did my book tour. I stayed on the road for 2 years, and it was the most amazing thing ever. I literally felt like I was living out my dreams. Like, and it was great. It was really great being able to just be. Like, it's the middle of a pandemic, so nobody expects you to have to be a certain way all the time. It's like, look, we don't know. We can here today, gone tomorrow. Look, just live. Do it happily, freely. Speaking of, I have a song called Freedom. You should check it out because that's definitely what this is all about. Living that freedom lifestyle.
I love it. I was going to ask, what's your book about? Can you talk a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. It starts with I is an affirmations book that's focused on self-love, mindset, business, wealth, money, and growth. It was the main areas of life that I felt was important to discuss in a book altogether, because I wrote the book basically because I caught my boyfriend with another woman on accident, right? And I was mad that the next day when I woke up, I was still mad and couldn't work. So I'm like, I need to write my affirmations down this time, because normally I would just say them, but saying them wasn't going to get it. So I'm like, let me write them down. And as I started writing them, I heard a voice say, this is a book. So I literally got up, and because I do branding and graphics and all that, I just quickly outlined my book, made a book cover, and instead of filling the pages on paper, I filled it on the computer. And 3 days later, the book was published, and I booked me a ticket across the world. And my books came, and I went on and didn't come back. I came a couple of times throughout that time to like switch out clothes and stuff like that, but not long.
What was that? What was that like for you? That's so interesting.
It was, you know what? It wasn't scary. It was like, here we go. It was definitely a journey, because I didn't know too many people everywhere I went. I didn't know nobody. I was doing this thing, just doing something. But what I will tell you is that it empowered me to do it again, not just for myself, but for other people. And I already have people that I'm working with to help them do the exact same thing. Like, we get caught up in the hype of the business of stuff when we forget that the reason that we have a business in the first place. Businesses are in business to make an impact in some way, right? So us as authors, we're really in business to make an impact with our book, with our story, whatever that story is. So if the whole goal is to really make an impact, then why am I focused so much on a venue, PR, billboards, radio, da 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 da,
Mm,
all this stuff? Why can't I get up and go wherever I need to be to make an impact for the people that need to hear this story?
mm,
And that's what I did. I thought about the moment that I wrote that book. I was upset, which means that I was dealing with anger. I think that I not I think I honestly was dealing with a self-love issue in that moment. Not
mm,
like during that whole time of my life, but in that moment there was a self-love issue happening in my mind because why am I distraught about what this man doing with somebody else when I can love myself more than enough for me, him, and anybody else? So the things, the emotions that I was dealing with on the negative side, I wanted to use my affirmations that I've been using over the years in a positive manner to knock that negative emotion out pretty much. And I knew that if I feel it right now, it's a whole lot more people that feel it somewhere. So I went to the places that people that would feel those emotions would be. They be at the liquor store.
mm,
They be at the gas station. They be in the what some people call the hood or the ghetto. So I literally wanted to go and plant my feet on the ground in places I never been to where I knew that it wasn't about who you thought I was or who I knew or who I worked for or who I was connected to. I was just a regular person that you ain't know nothing about. And if you when I opened my mouth to have a conversation with you, you was gonna open your heart to have a conversation with me back. And
mm,
now we gonna speak heart to heart. We no longer speaking mouth to mouth. We speaking heart to heart. And we was gonna build a relationship. We were gonna bond and communicate in a way that when you walked away from me, you would be empowered and inspired to be better than what you was before you spoke to me. That was the goal, and it was accomplished so many times with so many different people.